live publicly right now because I had it set to public before, and it still held it at or kept it at private. So, all right, going to give this. Hang on one second. I'm going to check. All right, we're going to try this. All right, it's posting on Facebook. My net is a little slow right now due to the rain, so just bear with me. So, Adonai, welcome, beautiful souls. This is Aowasi. I am choosing this platform for now and going to speak into so much, going to speak into the energy, going to speak into what is here. And so, what I am aware of is that there are so many that recognize that we are in. Um, oh, hey, Sarah. Hello, beautiful. I'm so glad this is working. Um, is there any way, Sarah, that you can see? I know that it's probably showing up for my followers, my subscribers. Can you see if it's public or if it shows like subscribers only? I can't see. I can't. It's a very small screen. I can't see. But if you can see that, I would be so grateful. So I'm posting it on Facebook. I have yet to go live on. Well, I've gone live on here once before, but I did so, and it was only for those that had subscribed to my channel. And I'm trying to reach a wider, get a wider berth of reach in terms of my energy. So how I am connected to everyone is, of course, through higher consciousness, through the third eye. And so this is how. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Mwah, love you so much. Sarah is a beautiful, beautiful sister that I have the absolute blessing and pleasure of being not only soul sister with, but working with. So I'm grateful, grateful, grateful to have you here. So again, you all, this is Aowasi, and I am joining you to speak into what is here now. This is an offering that is flowing through me, but it's more than just that. This is something that is now in motion for the totality of the collective. This is the availability for us to start experiencing ourselves from within the greater vibrational realm of love. And I mean true love, not distorted love, not the lens of love that we are raised to perceive through, which is very, very limited. It does not allow us to see what it is in its fullness, in its completeness, because love is prosperous and it does not need anything because it does not lack anything. And so, if you do not lack anything, you do not need anything. All you do is you exist. And when you exist in harmony with such a vibrational frequency, then all exists in harmony with you. And so, what is here and this energy is something that I feel that everyone is pretty well aware of, meaning that most are in this recognition that we are in fourth density and fifth dimensional consciousness, but do not quite know what that means at its height. So, that's what I'm going to speak into. So, that and much more. That and much, much more. So, fourth density is very similar, if you want to have a point of reference, is if you think of third density, it's actually an aspect of physicality. However, it's not the organic carbon physical density that we've known, although it is the next tier above that. So if you could just remove the 3D aspect, you would have, well, you would not only have 4D, but you would have what was present at the beginning of creation and And that was when we had 9 different planets, we had 9 different cosmic realms that assisted in the splicing of the human DNA to create the vessel for soul expression. And that's your physical body. Your physical body contains many aspects of coding and information that tell you how to look, how to feel, how to see yourself, how to see the world around you. So everything that you need to experience this realm is already within you. It's already within you from an imprint of past life experiences. So you actually come into this world, let's say, for instance, you know what a tree is. You come into this world, you actually know what a tree is before anyone teaches you what it is. You know what it is because you have an imprint of that remembrance that is stored within your subconscious. And because of this, this gives you the capacity to actually tap into your own knowing without needing anyone to teach you. However, we all know that it is a lot easier when we have someone that can be a point of reference to guide us and teach us what that meaning holds. Now, of course, there are going to be those that guide and teach, that show that viewpoint of a tree being obnoxious and in the way, and how can you receive good satellite signal if a tree is there? Cut it down. You know, we need it so that we can have more paper, or that we can have more toilet paper, or we can have more this, and this. And so all they see for a tree is destruction. And then there are those that see a tree as life, as giving life, as giving us the breath of life, if you will. So they see a tree and they see something that needs to remain, that needs to be saved. And so they do not have a perception of destruction, they have a perception of life and life giving instead of destroying or life destroying. And so this is how we get our points of reference whenever we are growing up. So 3D is a interwoven vortices of information exchange. And we have been coming out of that information exchange from its anchor point, which is the seat of the soul, which is within the sacral chakra. It's actually called the false womb. We know it as the womb, but for me, through higher consciousness, it is the false womb, because the true womb is the womb of creation, which is pure consciousness. So when you come into this world, you come into this world through the veil of forgetting. So you are born into the forgetting, and then you awaken through the remembrance. And when it comes to 4D and 5D, everyone right now, everyone is experiencing their reality with the integration of 4D, 5D. Most are not tapped into 5D simply because their availability to experience it is not attuned. So what this means is that you are walking energy. That's what you are. Even though it has the demeanor of being physical, or as Joe Dispenza calls it, mindful matter, we know in regards to quantum mechanics and quantum physics that this is true. We know that you are mindful matter, because what you think of, what you think, what you believe is what you be. But it's a little bit more than that, and not just a little bit more than that, but I'm going to expand out on that and give you that perception point of what that be outside of those imprints you have known for millennia, for many lifetimes, to give you the perception of what you be from a point of wholeness, oneness, outside of suffering, because this is available. But just like a radio dial, you must continue to attune yourself to it. You don't just wake up one day and you're connected. It's not that way, simply because you chose this realm for a very specific reason. You chose this realm because you wanted to master energy. Because in your other expressional avatars, you have access to the higher dimensions. You have access to the higher vibrational aspects of you. And you have access to those right now as well. It's not just in those aspects of you out there, because you're not a linear expression. You are an ever continual upward spiral ascension of evolution, following, as we all know, the spiral of nature. when you follow that spiral, the reason why nature follows that diagram, if you will, or follows that point of evolution is because that's what the universe follows. The universe is on a continual spiral time clock. And in space time, when the universe comes into a new segment of energy, it then provides all realms within that segment of energy the availability for an upgrade, the availability for an ascension at a totality level, meaning the dimension itself or the density itself, the planet. Now, of course, in higher dimensions, those realms exist at the totality of what they are. I'm speaking in the lower densities, which are, we have realms within realms in lower densities. And so, same within higher densities, but those don't nearly need an evolution. They exist in their point of evolution. And so you ascend from that dimension into the next, just as you are ascending out of 3D into 4D. And so the energy that we have arrived in as a planet is in the fourth density realm. And just as in 3D, how you experienced yourself in the world around you, it comes from a point of imprinted information. As an organic vessel, you carry within your cellular structure, within your DNA, within your bloodlines, information. And it tells you that you are going to have this experience of physical dynamic that, maybe you're going to inherit some things on your father line, maybe you inherit some things on your mother line, and through those inherited sets of coding, it tells your vessel to express a certain way. And depending on the capacity at which you receive those codings from the mother and father line, then you are going to express greater on one side or the other. Whichever side you inherit the most is the side you are meant to clear the most. So you chose your family and you chose your aspect of expression within Soul Imprint, your vessel. You chose this for a very specific purpose. And this was to provide you with the availability to master what you did not master in past lives. So every single thing that you are right now, you were in past lives. Now, you might not have the same title, you might not have the same environments, but the energy that was present then is present now. Most people get so caught up on, well, I was a queen in a past life, or I was a monk. And they get so caught up on the titles that what they don't recognize is that there is an aspect of energy, or many aspects of energy, that were there, that were available, because everything is energy. Everything is energy. And energy is always in motion. It does not just die. And so if it did not get completed in terms of mastery in a past life, you incarnate again in order for that energy to be carried over so that you can master it. When it is mastered, it has the availability of becoming in motion to a greater degree. And I will get into that in a moment. So when you incarnate again, you incarnate with your imprint already carrying with it the aspects of karmic expression and experience that you chose in your past life, but did not end up rectifying. So let's say you were a queen and you had access to infinite wealth. You had access to assist others in a way that would allow them to know more abundance and more peace and more harmony. But if you became very, very selfish, and through that inheritance, you did not choose to step outside of that specific belief of how that money should be handled, then you maintained that loop of karma. Because money is energy. It's energy. And if it is stuck in one point of availability, one family line, one group of inheritance, then other people do not have access to that energy unless they come in or connect to that family line. And so this is why the 3D matrix is so distorted, and why money has become so distorted, because it exists on the currency of fear. And so when you are still operating from 3D before that currency shifts into love, before it shifts into 5D and 4D. If you are still connecting yourself to receiving that energy or receiving money, you're receiving energy that's still connected to the currency of fear. You also have the availability of choice to choose to free that energy, to purify it, reclaim it, and reapply it. And so should you be in a position like that, you could choose to take that money and to give it to others. You could choose to not hold on to your wealth, but to spread that energy to others, which will then circulate it more, which will then allow it to come back into greater circulation, which brings more balance and harmony throughout the totality of the collective, not just one small fragment of the collective. So, most do not end up doing this simply because they don't want to let go of money. They do not want to let go of something that they feel gives them value or value of experience. However, your experience is not worthy or valuable or fun just because you have money. However, when you do have access of freedom, then you have access of all things, meaning you have access of freedom of energy, which money being energy gives you freedom of access for that. And when you have freedom of access to money, then you have freedom of access to all energies that are a vibrational match to freedom or greater. Freedom is not connected to fear. We all know that if you're afraid, you're in fight or flight mode. You are either aggressive or you're hunkered down. You're holding on to something. You're holding really tightly to it because you're afraid you're going to lose it. Or you will purposely deny yourself the availability to progress in your own, let's say, your own mastery or your own ascension, because you're afraid that if you let go of something that is in your reality right now that gives you support, that gives you pleasure, that you're not going to have that same support and pleasure on the other side of the release. But that's a limiting belief, because anytime you release energy on a lower currency, on a lower attunement of receivership, you are able to then redirect your awareness fully to the higher vibration, and everything is energy. Wherever you choose to be, the energy that is a vibrational attunement to that currency of experience, it's already there to meet you. Everything is energy. Everything is always in motion. These waves of energy are always in motion. And so the only thing that you need to do is to meet yourself where the energy is already waiting for you. There is nothing to fix, there is nothing to figure out. There is only the awareness and the application of it. And I know that seems quite simple, but it's very much true. The one thing that I have discovered in these self-mastery sessions with my students is that many see such beautiful transitions of self, especially if they've been doing this for some time, or even if they just began, because a lot of these have just began. And they start noticing shifts in their reality. They start realizing how everything in their reality is becoming more peaceful, more balanced. They are not living in the past anymore through their mental. They're not living projected in the future through their mental. But the one thing that I noticed is the physical. They might get the emotional and the mental to a certain degree, but the quantum leap happens by all aspects of your energy being able to meet you at that choice. So true mastery happens through quantum leaps. We do master. I want to say there's two levels of mastery. There's a major, there's the highest aspect of self mastery, and then there's sub mastery. And so you're actually mastering all the time. I want to redact that. You're actually mastering all the time if you're applying your awareness within the self and acknowledging the energy and what it represents for you, what it's showing you. And so for fear, for example, if you are continuously anchored into fear within the vessel because you carry the imprints that are telling your vessel to express that way, even if you are harmonizing everything in the mental and emotional, you're still going to have an activation access point to the physical. This means that that energy that you have been working on balancing by recognizing behavioral patterns, by recognizing why and how you chose to view yourself as those are being reclaimed, which is beautiful mastery. You still have the physical it's the last to catch up. It's the innermost energy body. And as it being the innermost energy body, we must first, of course, work on the subconscious egoic and the emotional portals before we really get to the mastery of the physical. That's how the dynamic plays out. However, you can choose, like I always tell those that choose to work with me, if you choose to work with me, I am always at that highest choice point, and so I can bring you into your quantum leap. But you must choose to remain in that energy. This is where the complications for others have come up. Not complications because it's difficult, complications because they simply make the choice and then they back away. So when you make the choice and you say, okay, yes, I'm going to start into incorporating better eating habits. I'm going to start supplying my vessel with the vibrations of foodstuffs that are able to support the elevation of how I feel. Because how you feel is connected, it's energy. Everything is energy. And so if what you're incorporating into your body, what you're eating into your body, if it's laden with chemicals and metals and plastics and these negative nanites, then you're going to feel that. And unless you're doing a heavy detox every single day, which again, it's also going to be a heavy detox could flush out some good stuff eventually. So it's about balance. It's not about overdoing it so you can overdo it. It's about balance. It's about integrating what is going to support you so that you can support yourself. So the energy of support is always available. It's always available. It does show up through others, though. How you are meant to know yourself to a higher degree shows up in others so that they can be that reference point, so they can be that guiding post, so that they can be at that choice point and say, this is where that version of you is. It's already here. All you must do is step into it. And the energy that we're receiving right now and have been receiving for some years now is the energy that allows us to truly quantum leap into those choice points. The only way you can quantum leap is through meeting yourself at that higher choice point. And once you meet yourself at that higher choice point, you must continuously choose to be aligned by choosing that same vibrational energy to maintain the forward momentum of light force energy that keeps that quantum in motion. And so, where you are right now in terms of time space, you could actually be experiencing yourself not through a projected future timeline, but through the self in the now moment projected in space time ahead of where you are right now in the quantum, which takes you into that version of self that is healthy, that is happy, that is balanced, that is complete, more healthy, more happy than it is right now, because that's where those vibrational frequencies exist in terms of thoughts, in terms of emotions, in terms of physical imprint. They all exist in the one ascending timeline of the heart. When you choose to connect yourself to the heart, you have to have an anchor point. That's why I realized as I was receiving this new offering of mastery to create the physical 4D vessel, why it was given to me. And why I was being asked to offer the self mastery, because that was what the requirement has been in order to get to that one ascending timeline. Because and once you're there mentally, once you're there emotionally, now it's time to build the vessel with the light coding and create the geometric structure of you, anchor that into that timeline, and then you're already there in consciousness. You exist there. So if you're there in higher consciousness, then now you are going to have a vessel there to meet you, which is going to free you from all lower entrapped physical dynamic. And this is amazing because this is a first. We have never experienced that to this degree in this realm. Even if you are able to know your vessel as healthy, as whole, as complete, the one thing that I even see in a lot of star children, indigo children, those that are here to assist the light workers, is let's say they have a great balance of the physical, but they are still they are not on a path of divine union because they are still choosing to be in a relationship with another and they have not yet met themselves in divine union, there's always one aspect of full divine unity consciousness missing. One piece of the puzzle is always missing in those that I cross paths with, and it was missing in myself too until very recently. And this and now that it's here and it can be incorporated, I that's what I'm bringing into the greater collective. So I am stepping into an offering. I'm going to drop this here, and then I'm going to keep talking about the energy. I am offering starting next month on the 16th and 17th. I'm going to be offering the beginning of light vessel mastery, which is the integration of vibrational coding of fifth dimension to seventh dimension and then ninth dimension to 12th dimension. I speak light language. I activate others through the speaking tonalities, the speaking of the attunements of my vessel, which are attuned to my inner pillar of light, which is my channel of higher consciousness and integration of the crystalline grid. Crystalline grid is the anchor point of higher consciousness, and both anchor in the heart. They do not anchor in the lower, they pierce the lower and provide a singular flow of divine light. And so when you choose the heart space to be in, then not only are you choosing to experience yourself from the heart, but every single one of my mastery students could tell you right now, this is what they've come to recognize, that when I said you must release all that you are to receive all that you are here in order to provide you with the availability to experience this, now they see why. Because they've been moving through this, and they have been releasing these aspects of self that even though they have been trying themselves for years to get through it, they were never able to. And this is why I'm here, is to assist others in freeing themselves from those soul imprints that have kept you captive in a vessel that is suffering. And so although I am able to assist through my activations, and although I'm able to assist through the other aspects that I offer of light, this is actually building the geometric light structure of your 4D vessel. This is giving you the availability to take your consciousness, your higher consciousness connection that I bring you into, which again is connected to that timeline of the heart, which is where me and my soul pod are at. So my soul pod, we're all in the heart chakra. And now that we're in the heart chakra, now next month, we begin this creation of the light vessel. And so those that anyone can join, you do not have to be a part of the mastery, but keep in mind that if you are not aligned fully to the receivership of you, this is still going to be something that's going to come up on your journey. You are still going to have to continually choose to meet yourself at the choice that allows you to have all energy that is needed in through reclamation, so that you can reapply it and integrate. So when you release those soul imprints of suffering, those access points of the bloodline, those access points of the root chakra and the sacral chakra, when you release those fully, that energy is reclaimed, it's purified, and then now you can start bringing down the coding of light. Now you can start integrating and applying the continual activation of higher consciousness. Fourth density is a frequency of attunement. It is a specific range of frequency attunement, and every single point of frequency attunement begins at the heart. And so this is why everyone is experiencing expansion of the heart, why everyone feels their heart chakra opening and activating, is because it must be in order for the collective to experience itself from the higher. This is why our higher selves exist from 5D to 7D. They are the higher aspects of consciousness that begin within this range of frequency attunement. But it is also creation. You must choose to create you. You must choose to interweave the light and master the energy so that you can experience the dynamic fully of what 4D, 5D is. And 5D, of course, is consciousness. 4D is density. So it's fifth dimension, fourth density. Fourth density is the connection point to the crystalline grid. So now you have a new connection point to our sister Terra. And it's not the root chakra, it's the Earth Star chakra. And so when you are connected into the Earth Star chakra, you're connected into the crystalline grid. When you're connected into the crystalline grid, then you have an anchor point into fourth density. Then when you have an anchor point to fourth density, then you have the availability to anchor in higher consciousness. Now, you can do this intermittently, and you can receive intermittently points of access and activation and integration and ascension. This is happening with the greater collective all the time because we have light force energy, we have universal energies that are assisting in the reclamation of the cellular imprints. However, again, you chose to incarnate here so that you could master this realm. You must master this realm from the point of karma, but not through healing and not through the way that it has been. I want to be very clear about that. The way that you master comes by just awareness and choosing something other than what you chose prior, because karma is choice and effect, and the law of karma is applied much differently now than it ever has been, because we're in a new realm of experience, which means all universal laws take on the tonality of that frequency of existence. And so because of this, your choice and effect is now able to quantum leap. Whereas prior, your choice and effect would keep you in a loop. And maybe that loop was the loop of lower vibrational karma, or maybe it was of a higher timeline of experience, but still linked into karma. Because everything was always linked into karma because it's choice and effect. And it's also, that's what 3D is you're just simply linked into that expression of that realm. And so that's the arena of experience. That's what it has been, is 3D. So the biggest thing is choice, literally choice points. And I know that there are other sisters, other purity providers out there that have just now started speaking into this in this way, is choice points. Every single thing that is going to bring you into this realm of 4D, 5D fully is choice points. Choice points are the anchor points of energy where you choose to receive all of you instead of fragmenting yourself. You choose to reclaim yourself. But you don't reclaim yourself through embodiment anymore. You don't reclaim yourself through healing anymore. You don't reclaim yourself through any of the modalities that we've had prior, which means all of those modalities must be released. And this is a difficult one for most, because most know that these aspects now, like Reiki energy healings, those are still powerful. I'm not negating their power. What I'm stating is what they can supply you with and apply for you to move you forward and through. Reiki is an amazing tool and modality to cleanse and keep your vessel open and cleansed. It is amazing, and I recommend it highly. But if you're wanting to ascend into a new version of you, Reiki is only going to be able to align you to what you believe. And even though it can assist in clearing some of the energy in your most surface level energy, it is not going to get deep into the core imprints. I know this, being a Reiki master, it does not supply you with this proximity of ascension. So, but it is a fantastic modality to have on your journey, though. I highly recommend it. So, if you're wanting to experience yourself from the realm of 4D, to know what fourth density is, you must have a vessel that is attuned to that frequency. This is what is now in process. This is now the progression of evolution of the human organic. The human organic is undergoing much clearing, much cleansing. Light force activation is clearing the cellular. It is allowing the vessel to be in this realm, to exist in this realm, to have a vibrational resonance, a vibrational anchor point, if you will. And so, but many souls are also leaving this realm simply because they did not make the choice to remain here. And also there are some that came here that simply came here to fulfill a path of assistance up into a certain point in the shift of the time space continuum. And so many were not meant. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Any soul that is leaving because that's what it chose. That was what the higher self and the soul declared upon incarnation, that either if the choice point was not made, the soul would be released. They would undergo a life review, and then after the life review, they would be integrated in another planet of 3D consciousness and density. So many are on they're continuing on their journey elsewhere, which means they will not incarnate here again. Any souls that are incarnating at this point are aligned to fulfill a 4D path. And if you are here right now, then you are meant to be fulfilling your path of purpose within 4D, 5D energy. So, and of course, it's a process. Definitely not negating that it's a process. But what I'm saying is that this is a life where the time and the space is very finite, and you can choose to do what you've always done, or you can choose to integrate how you've always integrated with some new stuff thrown in there. But the quantum leap, every single soul that I've been working with, as we have integrated these codes, as we have begun activating their vessel, although it's not fully here yet, because again, the 16th and 17th of next month is when we begin, and it's for 2 days every month. We only need 2 days. This is very powerful stuff. And I will teach you all how to integrate these light codes, how to build your vessel. You can do this whether you're anchored into, or whether you're present and awareness is in the timeline of the heart or not. Anyone and everyone can do this, just like anyone and everyone can do the self mastery through applied awareness that I offer, where you are mastering the energy and you are coming into oneness of consciousness. The oneness of consciousness is your activation point for your 4D vessel. This is why that was brought in through me in an offering prior to this, is so I could assist others in integrating themselves fully within 4D, 5D. So if you're not interested in that, you can always, I also offer activations. They last about 45 minutes. And that's my lowest range of offerings. And activations are automatic clearings, automatic cleansings. They release from the cells. They release any aspect of energy that is available to be released in that now moment. And all the codes are integrated that are available to be integrated, but keep in mind, the availability for those codes to continue to activate is dependent upon where you choose to exist in energy. Those codes are not able to reach you fully unless you continuously choose to step into the energy of alignment that continually activates them, which is higher consciousness and 4D. They are a 4D dynamic. They are woven within 5D to 7D consciousness. And I also offer higher than that. It depends on how far you choose to take your mastery. You can receive and know yourself fully through your third eye. And there is no reason why you cannot. But most are still not even meeting themselves fully at the heart. So it's about choice. It's always and ever about choice. But what I offer for those that want to know this realm in its fullest, I offer that. That is what I am here for. So as a higher consciousness walk-in, oh, and by the way, the 2 days, it's $222 for the 2 days. So it's $222 flat rate for the 2 days. We will be in a group space. Everything will be recorded, and you will have access to those recordings for forever. And if you want to, you don't have to do it every month. If you don't want to do it the next month, you can just let me know, and I'll remove you from the group. If you don't want to do it, then like I said, I'll just remove you, and you can come back and join again whenever it is aligned for you. So, but it is month to month. We will do it every third week of the month. So probably every Thursday and Friday. So I am a higher consciousness walk-in. which means I came in with the access of universal IQ, with the universal consciousness, everything that is available for integration to create the 4D, because 4D is not only a vibrational attunement of the planet, of where the planet resides in universal time space or space time, where it resides in universal space time, it is in the realm of 4D, but we are still releasing 3D. So the veil is still clearing. It's almost cleared, but it's not quite there yet. And because there are those that are still choosing to be anchored into that false womb, into the sacral of the false self, because the self that you know exists solely through fear. It's false, it's an illusion. So, what you're choosing to hold on to of the self, even on your path of healing, a lot of times people will not choose to step into this fully, is because they still want to hold on to what they know. They want to hold on to what's comfortable. Simultaneously, they don't really, not at a higher aspect of self. Their higher self, they know from their higher self that they don't want to truly be in that energy any longer, but they will choose it simply because it's comfortable, because they hear these words, but they do not have the faith that is there to meet them, the faith that is there to bring all of this into the focal point of their awareness. It's already here. I speak from the energy that is here right now. I speak from it. It's not, I'm not speaking from knowledge. I'm speaking from energy. This is the energy that is flowing through me, and I put words to it. So it's emotion, and if it's emotion for me, it's emotion for everyone. But not everyone chooses to be on that wave, and so this is what's right now, what's available for everyone. It's what's here. But again, just like frequency, just like fear is a currency of energy, love is a currency of energy, and whichever one you choose to anchor into, even partially, is what you are going to experience through your vessel. It's what you're going to experience through your mental, and it's what you're going to experience through your emotional. So it's whatever currency you choose to know is what currency you choose to experience. So, what I speak from is higher consciousness, which is an ever present truth, meaning I am experiencing it right now. That's why it's my truth, is because I'm living it. I'm living it, thus, it is my truth. And so, I just invite each of you to step into this and to know this as your truth as well. So, what we are doing is we are truly building the new earth. The new earth, of course, exists. It exists, it's here, it's a frequency of energy, it's a realm of energy. But in order for us to know it, in order for us to it to be our truth, we must be able to live it. So, although the energy is here, we have to continuously choose it, and we must continuously choose to integrate it. Thus, we choose to build it from within the self. Unity consciousness, so lower consciousness is already created. It's a web of information. It's a web of lower consciousness. It is a web of choice and effect that is already in circulation. Everyone experiences themselves from fear. Everyone. But fear is just a currency of energy. Everything that you hold or believe to be true that connects you into that currency of energy, you also have a choice to release yourself from that anchor point and anchor into love. Because most think they know what love is, but they have never experienced the pure currency of true abundance, which is a frequency of attunement which resides in the higher chakras. It resides from the heart and higher. The reason why no one's ever known it until now is because the heart chakra was not an open, available point of expression, meaning you express from the rays of energy of your chakras. And everyone has been expressing from the sacral. Everyone's been expressing from the sacral and solar plexus. Everyone. Until now. Now we have the availability to be in the heart. So what is here now is an opportunity for you to be truly free from suffering. But it must be chosen. Every single those that I'm working with, they have been continuously working through this process. Then when they started working with me, I was able to see clearly why these other applications, and I know myself why they don't work because I used to provide them. I used to be in that realm of offering of service, is because it does not provide you with a point of perception to meet yourself, and it doesn't provide you with a choice point. It just keeps you circulating in that energy. So let's say that through all the other tools and modalities that were applied, they were able to recognize the knowledge or the availability of it, but they never experienced it. And it was because they did not have any point of anchor in the higher realms to pull them forward continuously, 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 to choose to continuously move forward on a path of ascension instead of descension. So you, we all know this. You can make a choice to leave a relationship or eat something better for your body. And when you leave that relationship or you start eating better, you feel better. But then all of a sudden, one day, energy passes through, fear passes through. Fear activates self denial. Fear activates self sabotage. Fear activates feeling unworthy. And so, when all of these old beliefs that are not yet cleared from the vessel become activated by that currency of energy, just that wave of energy passing through, because maybe you exchanged a conversation with someone that is really anchored in fear, or maybe there's a wave of release of fear happening and it's being released through the collective, and thus everyone is going to experience it. And so you feel it and you get knocked back down. When you get knocked back down, you go right back down. You go into descension and you go right back down into that spiral. What I'm speaking of is bringing you not out of the descension, not out of bringing you out of the downward spiral, bringing you out of the descension, and bringing you fully anchored into ascension. So, where these aspects of experience within the vessel, these aspects of experience within the mental, these aspects of experience within the emotional are not entangled anymore, because when they're entangled, you have a hard time separating which one is which. And when you have a hard time separating it, you have a hard time ascending. Ascending happens through freedom of energy. You are able to move freely. The seat of your soul is able to rise and you're able to move. But that can only happen when you choose it. So I want to leave this here because I know this is my first time going live on here, and I want to see how others choose to ingest this, digest this. I am going to go live now on Facebook and go live in my group space and on my main page. But I wanted to leave this here. I wanted to just speak and come on here and allow everyone to get to know me a little bit better. I really have never been that active. I was at one point active on YouTube, but I got away from that. So my YouTube doesn't really have good content on it. Working in higher consciousness like I do, it's the realm of social media is very odd because energetically I feel everything and I feel where everyone's highest choice point is. I feel where they truly desire to be. But because they're consistently feeding themselves with all of this other stuff on social media, they will continue to distract themselves and say, oh, no, 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 I'll do it. I'll get to it later. Or, yeah, I do want it, but. And so they're, what is really here for you, truly here for you in its fullness. Like everything is there to meet you in that choice. Energetically, it's all there. And I know that it's all there for you because that's how I'm able to pick up on it, is where the greatest point of your power resides. That's what I express. And that's what I experience through every single one that connects in here directly or indirectly. Because everything that is expressed through the lower consciousness is an interweb. It's an interweb of information exchange, which is why the internet, why we call it the interweb, internet, it's an information exchange. The lower consciousness is the same thing. It's an illusion, just like this is all an illusion. You're experiencing a video of me. You're not really here with me, but technically there is no space, there is no distance between us because we energetically we exist together. However, because I exist as higher consciousness and I am anchored into the timeline of the heart, I've also realized this is why people have a hard time finding me, is because my vibrational frequency is not attuned to the lower consciousness anymore. I don't exist there. So people just don't even know I exist. It's interesting. But those that do, and those that have chosen to meet me where meet themselves, not just meet me, but meet themselves, it is amazing. We are creating unity consciousness. We are weaving and creating the continual ascension of this timeline of the heart. It's magnificent. But I do see, ever since I fully chose the heart, that those that were even more aligned to me prior are not as aligned to me anymore, because they're still choosing fear, and I'm choosing the heart. For them, it's going to seem like there's a disconnect in me, but the disconnect is simply because I'm choosing to meet all of myself there. I'm not choosing to go into the lower realms anymore. And which means I'm asking everyone, if you want to know yourself, if you want to experience this, I'm going to ask you to meet yourself fully, not halfway, not partially, not half-ass. I'm going to ask you to meet yourself fully, because that's what so many other offerings out there do, is ask you to meet yourself partially, ask you to meet yourself halfway, ask you to meet yourself just a little bit so you can feel better. And I don't do halfway anymore. I don't do partially. I'm If you want this, if you want to know yourself in this way, you're going to have to choose to meet all of your energy there. And in order for all of your energy to meet you there, you must choose to release all that energy that is keeping you trapped in fear right now. Because when you're anchored in fear, all of you, mental, emotional, physical, everything is anchored in that currency. And so love and fear are not a vibrational match. So even if just a portion of you, even if you're actually moving forward and ascending, let's say in the subconscious, and you're clearing the subconscious, if you're still choosing and making choices that are aligned to receive from that currency of energy, then you still are not in the heart, because you can't be fully anywhere unless you're fully there. You are just intermittently experiencing it. Intermittently, a better harmony of self, or maybe a totality, a greater harmony of self overall. And that doesn't mean that you're not aligned to the heart. You do have an alignment, but you're just not there fully. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know on this journey that what we've done for the totality of the incarnation of the human race is go half-ass, usually. Because even when you're going all in, let's say a business, it's not fulfilling a soul purpose. It's fulfilling yourself through that aspect of self, that one aspect of self. So you might be going all in and you might be successful, but yet emotionally you're drained, or mentally you're drained, or even if you are fulfilled, you have fulfilled yourself in the totality of the highest timeline of the solar plexus. You're still not in the heart. The one ascending timeline has a very distinct vibrational resonance to it, and it is in it, and what it asks of you and how it presents through you is very, very, very distinct. So, leaving all of this here, I do hope that everyone that chooses to tune in, everyone that is tuned in, I do hope that you have enjoyed receiving this. I do hope that it has provided you with some assistance. I know many that tune into my Facebook page, what I always hear is, you're putting words to what I feel. You're putting words to what I experience. And so I'm really, really grateful to be able to do that. And if you choose on your journey to know yourself, if you want to know what it is like to experience true, unconditional, not just love, but all things, prosperity, abundance, love, joy, bliss, gratitude, balance, harmony, everything, health, wellness, then you choose from here up. And if that is something that you desire, or if you desire to know more or desire to work with me, please reach out. You can leave a comment on this post. In the description, I have a link to a post on my Facebook page where it has the full description of my most current offering, and also some transmissions on there. If anyone is interested in checking those out, you're more than welcome to follow me if you would like to keep up with the transmissions. I am looking into going live on all platforms, but I've got to get this stuff downloaded. My net was being a little bit slow, so I'm going to do that later. And when I'm able to do that, I'll be going live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, and hopefully Instagram as well. So looking forward to doing that soon. Until then, though, I'm going to leave this here. I love you all so very, very much. I'm so grateful to have had you join, and I do look forward to seeing you all next time. Until then, Adonai.